gotta be my imagination. I think it's an invasion. I think it's an invasion. I think it's an invasion. Man, they not from around here. I think it's an invasion.
Welcome to the motherfucking mothership, bitches. It is the WhoDat podcast, the livest podcast this side of the Mississippi and the Nile River. How are you doing? How are you? Life good? Hope so. This is B, motherfucking co-pilot on the mothership. As always, it's great to see you all. I am here with the captain, DeMario.
Your mic cut out, I think.
My mic cut out.
Yeah. Try it now.
Hello. All
there
right.
We go.
All right. We back?
Yeah, we're back.
Little technical difficulty. No Janet Jackson. All right. But I'm here with DeMario.
What's up?
Ms. Paco. And then our political analyst and local historian. Well, he's a historian of everything, but he just lives locally. You know, y'all know what I mean. Mr.
Right.
Josh, hey. How you doing today, man?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Living the dream. Well, I appreciate you coming back into the mothership, man. Keep us updated, man.
Overdue.
Oh, yes. You are so right. You're so right. Well, before we get into everything talking about the political sphere of the world, and especially of the United States, we're going to talk about Biden. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Corona. We're going to talk about all that good stuff. But how's your week been? Tomorrow's Memorial Day. Y'all got any plans for a holiday?
Me personally, I'm going to hit up some old friends I haven't seen in a while, and I'm going to see what they got going on, and we'll probably kind of go from there, you know?
That's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah.
Josh?
Enjoying a week off.
Nice.
Just nice little vacation. Celebrating a birthday during the week, so can't complain.
Hey. Wait, your birthday?
Oh, yeah.
Happy belated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right. How old you turn?
Be 37.
Okay, you're still young. Vivacious.
I feel bad because I often look at like historic figures and realize like Alexander the Great conquered all the known world by now.
Yeah.
I would feel a little bit of disappointment, failure.
Dude, I think about Napoleon very often. When Napoleon was 24, he said, if I don't do anything to he wanted to, rule France.
Yeah.
He was like, if I don't make more progress, I'm just going to have to kill myself in the street. And I was like, he felt like that at 24? Shit, I need to get on my game. This man had drive, right? Damn. If I'm not the emperor of France, I'll just kill myself. Whoa. Dreams.
Makes you wonder, is it just people used to be that way, or were the opportunities better? Just
right. Well, back then they usually had to off the right person. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, the laws weren't as crazy. You could just, I killed him, and because I killed him, I have his throne now.
Well,
nowadays you got
it's a merit system. In some ways, like if you were in a right position, it turns into a merit system. Like if you're dedicated and willing to push something, you can get what you want.
Right. Yes. Hitler. That's exactly what he did.
So, now that we've crossed that bridge,
Cross the Rubicon.
yeah, catch us up for a minute, Josh. Josh is our historian, our political advisor. Catch us up. Where are we at in our current state in America right now?
Well, looks like this week we're going to break 100,000 deaths with the coronavirus.
Okay.
Hate to be Debbie Downer on that part.
Right. That's where we're at.
I sit back in awe, wondering what Biden's going to say this week to be crazy Uncle Joe.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the Biden fiasco. Wow.
I think the only way Biden can truly win this election is by not talking.
Right.
They need to
He's not gonna win this election, man.
well,
First off, he keeps talking, and secondly, he ain't give everybody $1,000.
But you know what? We used to say that about Trump, though. We'd be like, man, Trump, all he needs to do is just be quiet. You know what I mean? Stop fucking talking.
Very true.
And
Very true.
it took him right into the,
Very true.
right where he needed to be. So
Now, all right. What is the difference between Biden and Trump, like, for real, like, when it comes to the future of the country? Because I'll be honest, Republican, Democrat, whatever, and the way that the country is just in a flow of just what's gonna happen is gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I didn't see, and this is gonna sound crazy, but the only person I saw undo their predecessor was Trump to what he did to Obama. But Obama didn't undo shit that Bush did. So I don't see how Biden is gonna undo something, or like the wall. If he gets elected, is the wall still there? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get what is the change. He's just running on the fact of, I'm not Trump. All right, motherfucker.
I don't think people are voting for Biden. They're voting for Biden's cabinet.
right.
But who's his cabinet?
Well, we'll see when we get there. The whole idea is, I mean, in all honesty, like, the big difference is you hope that Biden appoints liberal thinkers to cabinet positions and actually possibly fix the EPA or fix education, just undo some of the horror stories that exist.
And that's the thing. Like, how can we count on him to undo some shit? I'm confused. Like, he hasn't been vocal on the things that Trump has done that have to be undone. He just keeps saying that he's not gonna pardon them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, but like you said, the education system, which people really don't pay attention to, but they've really fucked up. Well, like, funding wise, the whole process of it.
Probably one of the biggest problems we have is Betsy DeVos, the
Yes.
Secretary of Education.
Yes.
Anything I believe he appoints to replace anybody he appoints to replace her is going to do a better job than what she's done.
But are they gonna undo the fuck ups they've already done though?
Because traditionally on the left, even the moderate left, they don't believe in the school vouchers and someone pushing for the private schools to the level that Betsy DeVos, who I don't believe her family's ever had anybody in public school.
Yeah.
So at least you have the hope. Or like in the case of the HUD, House in
Ben. What's the dude's name?
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. Yes.
Anybody he appoints, I'm sure, like Ben Carson's a brain surgeon. I'm sure, like he's not exactly the guy you want over the HUD.
No, at all.
The EPA. There's been so many slashes to the EPA, like program stuff. So you hope that you appoint somebody that cares about the environment, that starts to try to push some of the regulations on gas mileage, like back to requiring California. It's escaping me. The exhaust rules and stuff like that.
Yeah, the emissions.
Emissions, California stuff. I mean, they've cut that back in the hope that you get somebody that stops some of the basically the pipelines and stuff like that going across native lands and stuff like that. You just hope that you undo at least shift some of the what you might consider corrupt cronyism.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I really feel like we're back in with Hillary and Trump. Like, how people felt like it was just two shit shows you had to pick from.
It is.
And
I mean, let's not pretend. We're not back there. I mean, we're not maybe back there. We are. That is where we are. You know.
I'm not. How do you feel about it? I'm over it. I'm just like we talked about this before the show. How you say young people don't vote.
Yeah.
Because we just feel like people are selected and they're not elected, and it's like the people that they give us the options for are either party you go for, right wing or left wing. A bird got two wings. It's the same bird. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like we feel like, fuck, am I even trying this about? Like, you know what I mean? I don't see what Biden really offers when it comes to change, progression, and evolution when it comes to our country, our political status, and no one is talking about how internationally we've been affected by Trump's presence.
Right.
Like how other countries just don't take us seriously about like
how
him pulling out of NAFTA.
Joke.
Yes, a joke, a total fucking joke. And with Biden there smelling a little girl's hair and trying to tell people who's black and who's not.
Oh
like,
my God.
I just don't see.
Can we talk about that directly?
Yes.
Okay. So for anybody that missed it, Biden was on an interview. Like, what were they on Zoom or what was it?
They were on just a regular video chat.
Yeah, with Charlemagne.
Yeah.
And from the Breakfast Club, if you guys who don't watch Charlemagne or the Breakfast Club, but go ahead, kind of lead them in, tell them how that went.
All right, so they were sitting there, they were having a conversation. They were on for a little while, and Biden had to leave because his wife was going to be on TV at 6:00. So as they were wrapping it up, Charlemagne said, "Well, there's a long time before November, and we need you to come on the show. We have more questions."
Right.
And in response to that, Biden said, "You got more questions? Well, if you can't see the difference between me and Trump, then you ain't black."
Yes, Biden's older than that. And me and Brandon, we talked about this for a minute, and I was like, it's like when, Biden was in office with Obama, and it's like when you've got the white friend that hangs out with all black people, and maybe he just got a little too comfortable.
That type of too comfortable is dangerous.
So,
That's like Bill Clinton got too comfortable. He locked up more black people than any other president, and he just played a saxophone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got way too comfortable.
Too comfortable.
Like, you start pulling some moves. You know what I mean? Like with Biden, I just don't see the contrast. I don't see what the difference is. I don't see like Trump.
A lot of people agree with him though, in a way, but I don't. It's a message delivered from him.
Like, I feel like it's stupid. I feel like whoever agreed with him is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you're not about to tell me what is black and what isn't. Like, to even mention it, to even like think that you have the comfort to say it. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
But like when Trump said, "What do you got to lose with voting for me?" That type of shit is like, what do you mean? What do I have to gain? Like, you're asking the wrong question. Like, you ain't black. Like, no, you just lost some of the black vote because over 200,000 black people voted for Trump. So now all of them aren't black. Well, congratulations, you just lost all of them. Like,
right.
You dumbass. Like, I just don't get it. I don't see a clear difference between him and Trump. Trump grabs pussies. He smells hair. Like, I just don't. I don't get the. Why am I voting for you? I don't know why I'm voting for you.
Right.
I'm just lost.
Well, there was a comparison when Hillary ran with the feminist,
Right.
and I think it was one of his former Secretary of State for Bill Clinton, who was a supporter of Hillary, made the comment like, if you don't vote for Hillary and you're a feminist, then something like there's a special place in hell for you.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, yes.
And I wish I could say I remember her name, but she was, I believe, a former Secretary of State. And it's the same comparison. It's a reverse form, or no, it's a direct form of almost like identity politics. It's like. It's like, if you're part of this group, then you have to be this way.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And that's the way they feel about, blacks and Democrats or Southern Caucasian
and Republicans.
like Republicans. Mostly, like, a lot of my views are libertarian, so everyone automatically assumes I'm a Democrat, but most of my views are kind of libertarian, but that's me.
I don't know. I don't know what stances make you libertarian or make you conservative or make you. I don't know what classifies people for the bubble.
It's agendas. It's really just agendas. What is your agenda? You know what I'm saying?
Well, traditionally,
I don't know what I would be. All right.
Traditionally, the major difference between liberals and conservatives has always been what you believe the role of the federal government should be: big government versus small government.
Right.
And
so if you believe that the whole government should be decimated, what party is that?
Well, that's an anarchist.
That's anarchist. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess until we get an anarchist candidate, I'm not voting.
It'll never happen. They don't believe in any of that. So.
Yeah.
Ron Paul. He's the closest I've seen to an anarchist.
But I mean, it's and it always they broke down in other views too, which it creates these molds that are not true, such as in some cases there's always been the argument that conservatives are more pro Second Amendment than liberals. And it's like it really depends on the politician, and it starts creating this identity. It's like, well, what's your view on like abortion, guns, and gay marriage used to be the big three.
Right. That's, yeah.
And the funny part is, if you were left on any of them, they considered you left on all of them.
So what do you think pot replaced out of those three?
I would say gay marriage because, in a way,
the battle's over on that end. Yeah.
for the most part, Supreme Court took it out of the politics' hands.
Right.
Politicians' hands.
Yeah.
But
so it's pot.
I don't know if
and
pot's,
Biden doesn't want to legalize.
But I don't. It's funny because left and right both, there is an argument from both sides to legalize it.
Right.
Because
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's just,
it makes sense all the way around, and they still won't do it.
Well, the biggest question I would ask is, if you legalize marijuana, how are you going to treat back offenders?
Right.
Do you
expunge and release, or
you don't expunge, but you release them, and then when they go on for a new job or something like that, because I was watching it wasn't a town hall, it was like up and coming minds, that type of thing,
right?
But they were talking about how one of them suggested, I wish I remembered her name, but she suggested that you release people that have been where their convictions are only solely based on marijuana.
Yes.
Because some people, have multiple charges or something like that. But if it's only solely based on marijuana, you release them, and then you put them like immediately into a workshop or a program that gets them a job in the marijuana industry.
That's something, I guess.
Right. I mean, it was just an idea, but I really like that idea of like, you're only gonna go for those whose charges don't come with other, crazy shit. Like if weed is part of your rape case or something like that, no, you stay in jail. Like, but then you're able to get out. But not only that, because it's legal now, we're gonna set up job creation too.
Right. We're gonna employ you.
I think that's just that was just a really good idea. But back to Republican libertarians, Biden and Trump. Their stances in their parties, like, because Biden has Democrats that don't agree with him, and Trump has Republicans that don't agree with him.
Right.
Yes.
So the Libertarian and Republican stance does not exactly mirror or show the correct image of the candidate. You know what I mean?
What ends up happening is it's like you can't really put people under the liberal and the conservative umbrella because of all the subgroups.
Right.
Because you have Tea Party Republicans.
Are they still a thing?
Oh yeah, they're still quite active.
Oh wow.
Then you have basically neoconservatives, which are more worldly, if you will, more about being in the world market, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have liberals, progressive liberal, and then conservative liberal, which conservative liberal for the most part is that traditional Democrat. It's more of a moderate.
Right.
And then you have liberal conservative, and the whole idea that it's slightly left on the moderate scale. They're still right, but they're a little more, I don't want to say progressive, but they do some of the liberal ideas they do agree with.
Right.
All right, so here's my question, because both of you've said that you're a moderate liberal, and you say you're a libertarian.
Yes.
Now, does that automatically put you in the Democratic Party?
No.
No. Okay, so how does a liberal and Democratic, how do those diverge? Because I'm trying to figure out if Joe Biden is just a Democrat, regular, like,
he's a good old boy Democrat at that. Like, he came through the gate talking about abolishing weed and all. You know what I mean? Like all the progress we've made.
Yeah,
he was trying to turn around, and then the opinion slowly started changing. You know, as the results were coming in, like he was taking us in a different direction at first. Like,
he's a politician.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a
wow.
And the thing about a lot of these politicians, and when you're talking about pot and everything like that, is a lot of these have their hands in the pockets of these different companies that the release of pot will hurt them tremendously. Like, the legalization will hurt their pharmaceutical company that's got this pill that does this and
Mm-hmm.
that. So, I mean, they're protecting their investments,
Yes.
and that's kind of what they're doing.
Now, all right. So with knowing that, how do you factor what's bullshit and what's not? And I'm asking you because I know like me.
We
me,
talk about it all the time.
Yeah, but me and Paco have this, and I wish the other people would adopt it. Regardless of if it goes the way we hope it does, or if it goes the way that the worst case scenario, we still gonna make something happen. You know what I mean? Like regardless, it could be the worst of worst, but that's just what we gotta deal with. But for somebody who is studied and is experienced in it, like with the Democratic Party, Joe Biden's obviously not a liberal.
He doesn't fall under the traditional term of like the Bernie Sanders or of that ilk.
It's not many that's like Bernie. God, I miss that man.
And that's why Bernie's not there.
Like, if it wasn't for this COVID shit, I truly believe he would have got in. Like, for real. But regardless, so with the regular established Democratic ideology, let's say that, then what do we have to expect from Biden that is different from Trump?
Well, it's going to be pretty much appointments.
That's pretty much. So we just going off the hope of who he might appoint.
I do believe in a lot of cases you're not voting for Biden, you're voting for his cabinet.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not a big.
Well, it's also another thing which is big: liberal judges. Trump is throwing judges into federal positions,
Like
lifetime
crazy.
appointments. Him and Mitch McConnell are making the courts very conservative.
Because
And
the judge is the only thing that can overrule a president, right?
well, the Supreme Court is basically interprets the law.
Right.
So the big fear is if it ever became too conservative, say goodbye to Roe versus Wade.
Now, what is Roe versus Wade again for people?
It more or less allows women to abortions. It doesn't. I wish I knew the court case off the top, but
Right.
traditionally that's the one that allows for
Abortion to be a legal thing.
yes.
Okay, I feel you. So if that goes, is that like that hurt like the economy? Like 'cause I've heard Roe versus Wade mentioned in a lot of CNN stuff and everything, but I never knew the connotation
I think
that it
there's
was saying.
13 to 28 states with laws in the chamber that the minute Roe versus Wade is overturned,
They go into effect.
and abortion becomes illegal in about 28 states.
Okay,
Tennessee being one.
definitely. Tennessee is definitely probably the top 5 on the list.
And also, then it becomes the issue of certain states have laws which they'll prosecute doctors who give abortion for murder,
Like Alabama, right?
and I think Texas,
Okay.
and stuff like that. And that becomes that.
Oh, okay. So we need Biden in so we can appoint judges that will continue to be progressive.
The whole idea is there's a judge, Judge Ginsburg.
Okay.
She has been in not the best health and had some scares.
Mm.
Well, if she loses her seat and Trump is allowed to appoint a position, then the conservatives have more or less almost like a supermajority on the Supreme Court.
Supermajority.
Because I think there are 9 Supreme Court justices.
Yes. Yeah.
It would be 6-3,
Oh,
where it's 5-4 right now.
it would be 6-3.
And imagine what kind of
Now it's the conservatives, like the conservative ideology. Is that mostly based off of like the religious Southern, or is that or being conservative? Is that just saying we want to stick more to what the country was founded on?
I think the idea of conservative, and I feel bad because I'm not around conservatives enough to fully, but I think the idea of conservatism is what the Constitution, it's the actual like almost a
Just go straight by the word and letter.
Yeah, it's a word and letter,
Yeah.
where liberals traditionally like it's more of the intent.
Right.
Yes, they interpret.
Yeah,
I feel you. Okay. I mean, I think that
letter of the law versus intention of the law.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
that seems if you could bring the founding fathers back, I think they would want us to add some shit.
Well, of course.
Like,
I mean, the world. I mean, beyond just the, the law and the Constitution and everything, the world as a whole has changed. Parenting has changed. Our parents can't really give us advice for how to raise our children today because they are not raising them in this world that they, you know what I mean? It's it's a very different world. Everything's changing. So, I mean, until we can slow down advancing, there's really no writing the book. We're just flying by the seat of our pants, and all you can do is what you can do, your self-morale, your self, you get what I'm saying?
Your own gumption.
Right. Because if you think about it, like, if everything was gone literal, like, every time you stream a movie, every time you stream a song that's not under a licensed, company and all that stuff, it's illegal, Think about it. Think about how many times we spun records on here.
No, my goodness.
God, if we had to pay the fines for every time we spun the records we spun,
Ooh.
that shit would be outrageous.
Club WhoDat will last 1 week.
Yep. They would be asking WhoDat for real. They'd be like, who that?
Yeah.
Who that? So, I mean, can we keep up with the times? I don't know. I mean, can the process it takes to write laws and to write stuff,
I'm just a bill.
Right. The times that shit takes, like, we couldn't keep up with how fast the times are changing. To write it. The fastest I've seen them pass anything is when they changed the law for smoking. I felt like that came overnight. Like, I just woke up one morning and people had to be 21 to smoke.
Yeah, that was not publicized or anything.
It was just here.
Yeah. It just happened.
Yeah. So
and that's what all right, so thank you for mentioning that.
Yes.
So with Biden, with Trump, Trump showed me what presidential power looked like. Because he came through the door, executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order, and then things just started fucking changing.
The world was changing. Yeah,
like fast as hell. So is Biden is he gonna be the type of person that does executive order to fix the shit that Trump is fucking up? Like, I don't need a president.
Can you consider it fixing though?
Let's
use
even
the
try
term
to stem. Change. There we go.
I can't say fix because not everything he's decided has been bad. As many of these people don't want to,
Right.
Not everything.
You're right.
But let's say change. Let's use the word change. Go ahead.
Because when Bush did his galactic fuck ups, like I mean, just over and over and over again. Like we literally found out that our president lied to us. Yeah. About why we went to war. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a real thing. Like, they have movies on that. So, but when Obama came in, it wasn't, even though he said we're going to put all the troops out, we still to this day have troops in Afghanistan and Iraq. So, is there going to be, when Trump came in office, he's like, I'm going to change Obamacare. And I be goddamn, he got straight to it. If Biden isn't going to get to a changing thing, and just leave stuff as it is and just go off only on promises and words and then come with I can't shut down Guantanamo Bay like I've been saying because that. Like, I don't see why am I voting?
Well, it's not just the president. The whole idea is when you have a weak Congress, weak House, weak Senate, then they can't truly challenge the president. The whole idea is, like, if there were more constitutionalists in the Senate or the House, yes. There would be checks and balances. The whole idea is, like, each branch holds the other one in check. It's just there hasn't been a lot of challenge.
Can you explain what we were talking about before we came on the show about the need for more political parties?
I believe that the key is more political parties in the sense that if you have, just throwing numbers, 6, 12, something like that, and they're all different parties and they're all filling the House and the Senate and stuff, you create coalitions. So you have to actually talk to somebody to get stuff done, because otherwise you just don't have enough votes to get it passed.
So you're just bartering the whole time instead of actually sitting down and having to. I feel you.
It's give and take. The whole idea is, say for instance, go back to say your party is big on legalizing marijuana. Right. If my party's big on, like, improving education or spending more on education. Right. We sit at the table and it's like, how can we help each other? I tell you what, however many people on my side will vote for the bill you're trying to get passed, but we got something coming up, and if we give you something, we need something in return.
Right.
So it's like,
I really have to use the bathroom, guys. Sorry.
My man's got the piss. Take a piss
really
break.
have to.
Go ahead. I get this.
But can you explain for the people? My question is, how do you start a political party? Because if we could start a political party like called the WhoDatians, like we can both run for office.
Right.
We can all three run for office. Matter of fact, you two guys run for office. Because I'm not getting elected. Like, let me run to the bathroom.
I think in a lot of cases, the parties have been established off of men that, and I say men because that's traditionally
right.
Off of men who've had vision or follow a previous vision,
right?
Such as whether it's like Andrew Jackson might have followed through, created an advanced form of the Democratic Party by following ideas that were Jeffersonian democratic. Not necessarily the same idea, such as the Republican Party came from the Whig. It's like from after Washington, there was a two-party system almost, Federalist and anti-Federalist.
Correct.
So it seems like it's hard to start a party because we don't know where to actually start a party.
Right.
Because we've always had the two ideas.
Right. And that's why I kind of like Libertarian Party. I like the idea of less government in control of things, less government. Now I don't mean, let your streets go to hell because you're not paying taxes, but I mean some of the decisions like abortion, like I really feel like that should be a choice that a woman makes, and morally, if she can't sleep at night after that decision, that's a decision she made. That's something. I don't think anybody should be able to tell anybody, this and that and this. That's just me.
Well, I don't have a lot of faith in humanity, so I believe in more federal government.
Right, I understand.
And my whole theory is it's not that they're overseeing your actions; they're overseeing your right to do said actions.
Right.
They're They're supposed to be protectors, not necessarily like enforcing ideas as much as they're protecting ideas.
Right. I understand. So, I guess to get back to what Brandon was talking about, I mean, what do we need to do to create a party?
Well, the whole idea is if you got enough people to sign, I guess it's a form to get you on the ballot.
How many people would be enough?
That I don't remember. That I don't quite remember, but probably something about maybe 2,000 to 20,000 something. It'd be in the thousands.
Right.
And you get enough people. Might even be more than that. So
okay.
I don't want to under
to misquote.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But you get enough people to basically say yes, we're good with this. Put them on the ticket.
Right.
And if they're willing to, they'll put you on the ticket, and there you'll be right next to whatever you call yourself.
yeah, gotcha.
Because in our history, the third party that comes to mind is the Bull Moose Party.
Okay.
Teddy Roosevelt ran against Taft, and I feel so bad. I cannot remember the president who actually beat. It was a Democrat who beat Taft. Because the Bull Moose Party was basically a break-off of the Republican Party.
Well, Teddy wasn't the first independent to win, was he?
He didn't win as an independent.
Okay.
He took enough votes away from the Republican to, actually be... And he ran as an independent at that time, the Bull Moose Party.
Right, correct.
But for the most part, like I said, it goes back to got enough people to back him, sign or whatever, where his name is on the ballot.
Right.
And I'm sure if you run for president, you probably have to do this in each state.
Right.
A few 100,000.
Correct. So I hear people, they used to always say, we need no parties and all that stuff. And the idea of that sounds good, but I don't think it ever worked because there's always cliques.
That's it.
There's no parties in high school, but there sure are 1,000,001 cliques. And that's going to happen. People are going to congregate together no matter what. So you might as well, I like the idea that you said that we need more than just two-party system. I like that.
Well, it's like I like the idea when I was in high school that I was trying to make friends with everybody.
Right.
So I never saw myself in one party. So you create that with the multiple parties.
Right, correct. Okay. So what could have Biden said or done differently in his interview? Like, how could that have went different?
Yes, I will talk to you later.
Yeah, right. Some things you just can't say, even though, it was a really ballsy thing to say. I was just like, wow, it takes a lot of balls to feel like, you got enough clot.
If you have a crazy uncle that says random things out loud that shouldn't be said, that's not ballsy, that's crazy.
That is true. That is true. He said it with so much like authority in his voice. Then you ain't black. He had that on the black. You
just stare. It's like, what makes you the authority to decide this?
When I read it before I saw it. I was like, all right, I have to see how he says this. You know what I mean? I was like, let me see.
4 times. Oh. It took 4 times to read to believe.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, that's a lot of in that black. You know what I mean? It was great. I was highly entertained. I love to see when politicians kind of derail.
There's people love a car accident.
What is wrong with you?
Your dogs got loose.
Shut up.
Yes.
Did you get him?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. How did it get loose?
Kobe was on that side of the fence. Pearl was in the neighbor's yard again. So I had to jump the fence, get Kobe. Jump the fence, bring him back over. Then I ran out, got Pearl, dragged her all the way back around to the backyard. Closed the gate and ran back in.
The gate was open?
No.
Okay.
They had dug a hole. Kobe had dug his own hole. Pearl had dug a hole.
Oh, shut up. Wow. Okay.
Pearl is strong, bro.
Oh, that's a strong ass pit. That's so people don't even realize. Like, the girlfriend blocked a hole that he dug and was like, I don't think Pearl can move anything to get out. I'm like, Pearl can pick up a cinder block. Pearl can bite a cinder block and pick that bitch up.
Pearl's strong. I'm sorry to come in and stop the show.
I was wondering. I was like, why are you out? Like, that was a serious piss.
Nigga, I was fighting a goddamn pit bull. Nigga. I was in there taking a piss and just heard barking from outside. I was like, why is it 2 different types of barking? I looked out the window. They're both behind the fence like.
But on the side note, I need to use the restroom real quick.
You too? What is it? Fuck it, I ain't serving wine no more. I don't understand. Look, I watch Tea Talks. They drink wine the whole time at Tea Talks. Ain't nobody got a piss. I serve wine one fucking time, and everybody got a piss. I don't know how you do it, Jasmine. These little niggas, they got these weak ass bladders. Okay?
I got these weak ass bladders.
Little weak ass bladders.
I got you.
Yeah, he got it.
I got you.
Now everybody got a piss. I ain't even got a commercial break. Okay? Fuck, I'm gonna start programming commercial breaks in here when I serve wine.
That bend over back was the video I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. Shout out to RT.
Right. Which they'll be joining us next week. Is that next week? They're coming back on here.
That is next week.
We're gonna discuss some black economics. Oh, I know y'all don't want to talk about that.
Yo, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to get into financial literacy like a motherfucker. I really want to start talking about how to raise your credit score, how to get residual income on the side, and how to build lasting wealth you can pass down.
Elizabeth said Kegels. Y'all got to start doing Kegels.
Is that why, Elizabeth? I'm not doing no goddamn Kegels.
Kegels just so they can stop having to go pee.
Y'all are amazing.
What in the world?
Ooh, y'all gripping that dick when you ride. Shit. If you able to hold that piss like I had to go. You a bad motherfucker. Don't ride me, goddamn.
Man, I can't believe both the dogs got out. I might have to send the kids back there.
Man, both of them got out.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm about to text my daughter right now, y'all.
I jumped the fence. I got Kobe, and then I had to put him over the side because I tried to jump it with him holding it, and I was like, "That's not gonna work. I'm not getting fucked up for this dog."
Right.
So I put him over the fence and dropped him a little bit, and he got offended. He looked at me and said, I said, "Hey, what do you want?" So I jumped the fence back. Pearl is like, she's trying to get free and shit, but she don't know what to do, so she's just looking at me like going,
"Yeah,
nigga, help me." Nigga, help me.
Help me, nigga.
Help me. I done got over here again.
Right.
Like, she had that desperation look like she's like, I know I'm about to be in trouble. Please.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, gosh,
all right, so how do we start a political party? Can we start one?
Yeah, we covered that, but we
Cool.
just, we need X amount of signatures and stuff to support us.
So, locally speaking, what other than mayor, what is a vital role that we need a politician in when it comes to local matters?
Councilman or woman.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's what they want you to be. I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah,
They want him to be a councilman.
Yeah, I got approached a couple times about running for a councilman position.
I mean, it's local. It's important to the county or city,
Yeah.
depending on what it is. Board of Education's another one.
Yeah. You want to go on the board of education?
Hell yeah. I'm going to revitalize Murray County. What are you talking about?
And
Yeah.
then if you're
Oh, my
thinking
goodness.
slightly bigger, you can run for state house, state senate.
I don't even know if you should drink that. Like they said, women have stronger pelvic floors because of our Kegels.
No, you have stronger pelvic floors because you have babies. All right? Okay?
So
Your
anyway,
Kegels help, but you have babies.
yeah, we're talking about why everybody has to go pee on the show.
I do apologize. I
Yeah.
drank way too much.
Yeah, there you
You have
go.
stronger pelvic floors. Pelvic floor. We don't even have a pelvic floor. Sorry, we don't. We're boys. We don't have to worry about the bottom of our shit. Like we just use the bathroom. I like Joy being mad at me. I love being a guy, and I throw it in women's face all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, because our lives are like it's easier. It just is,
Yeah.
and I'm not ashamed of it. I don't feel like I have to feed into how hard your life is. It's not my life. I don't know this pain. I don't know. I don't know.
But you have to sympathize. Like, you gotta sympathize.
I get it. I get it that like you have to do extra shit, but at the same time, I'm a guy. My life is easier. I'm sorry. It's just there's a whole aisle in Kroger's I get to walk right by and ghost it. I don't even think about that shit.
I don't even know what's down there.
I don't even know what's down
They
there.
be giving away Hennessy on that bitch, and I done missed it every time. I don't know what's down there. So.
It's the benefit of also being able to pee standing up because it's like we're not limited to our restroom. As horrible as that is to
We can
put
pee
it out
anywhere.
there, but yeah.
We can be anywhere. You have no idea how much freedom a man has.
That is true.
It's
Yesterday,
amazing.
I went. My mom lives out in the country. Yesterday, I went to visit my mom. It was late at night. I was picking my kids up.
Mm-hmm.
I got out the car. It was probably about 9 o'clock at night. I literally took one step out the car, unzipped my pants, pissed, zipped my pants up, walked around the car, and went in the house.
And life was fine.
And it was fine.
Life was perfectly
It's
fine.
pitch black out there. It's country.
It's so good being a guy. It's so good being a guy.
Right.
I throw it in women's faces all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any of this strife you talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm
These
sorry.
trials and tribulations.
It's the closest thing I have to white privilege. I don't know
Right,
what you
right.
speak. I don't know what you're speaking about, but I wish you the best of luck. In it.
Right.
But I mean, it's just, yeah. I think back, when I was a kid and stuff too. It's
Right.
always parents just tend to treat their little boys or whatever just slightly different than their girls.
Right.
And that's one of the things. Like you can go to the bathroom anywhere. So where she's got to use the restroom, you don't hold it up.
Right.
Exactly.
And my father didn't have to look for a restroom. That man just was like pulled side of the road. It's like there's a tree.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Look, my son, he's 7 now, right? And he just realized the beauty of being able to just pee, like, cause like you know when you potty train boys go pee on a tire or something like that.
Right.
But he just like in his mind, he's very rational. So he'd be like, I just did that because I was smaller, that type of thing.
Right.
Like, so now that he knows, no, I'm a boy, I can pee anywhere. Oh, it's hard to get him to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
Like he'll be playing the game, just stand straight up and walk outside. Like, where are you going?
Yeah.
I gotta pee real quick. There's no one in the bathroom.
Right.
Like,
Why are you not?
you can
Right.
go. It's open right now.
Yeah.
I'm already out here. Like,
Right.
it'll be like I ran out one time. He was already peeing out next to the garden. I was like, I don't even know if that's good for soil.
Right.
Like, so
you
he
might be killing my turnip greens,
Yeah,
bitch.
what are you doing? I opened the door like, what are you doing? I already did it. I was like, oh,
Done
God.
done, daddy.
It done happened.
Yeah.
It also goes back to sporting events. They have the giant trough or whatever.
Oh yeah. And you know what?
So
I
disgusting.
never saw that in the north.
Oh, never.
Trough?
No, I didn't see the trough. So I was in the South, bro. And I walked in, I was like, are all of y'all just dicking in this trough? Like, y'all just cool with this? I'm gonna go to the stall. I'm gonna go to the stall. Like, I was never a trough kid or nothing. I just was like, y'all just hanging y'all's dicks out for everybody. Y'all just okay with this?
It's fine. You can just gaze over at people. Just.
I mean, at the trough, you're all lined up, and then you got the one weirdo at the end of the trough. Because ladies, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but the trough rounds.
No, they don't have a trough.
I know. They better not have no trough. You imagine the asses just. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Yeah, that'd be weird, you know? Like, fuck. But the trough's round, you know? Elizabeth said they had troughs.
Y'all ain't had no troughs.
I don't believe it. I'm gonna need a picture.
Yeah, y'all ain't. I don't think you're thinking of the same trough.
The big ass, like,
just it's an opening. It's just nothing but a
it's like a
ditch.
big long claw foot tub. You know what I mean? Like, what from end to end. Go ahead.
When you watch a show about like where they're feeding cows,
yeah,
it's that exact thing for urinating.
Yes.
Yes, if you ever seen a pig eat, we're pissing in that but it's a wall long. It's as long as a wall,
and it's just like, and like I was saying, the dude at the end, I don't even know how he's pissing because like if he just glances up, he's got like 8 dicks just right there, and I'm like, bro, why?
Why did you stand there?
Yes.
Well, if you look at it, like a lot of men's bathrooms are like 3 stalls, 2 stalls, or something like that, in a trough.
Yeah, trough. That's what it is. You got 2 stalls, so 2 of you can shit, but the rest of you better work something out.
Yeah, none of that's gonna work during COVID. No, they're gonna have to fix that. What is that? What did she say? Is that room?
Syracuse carrier then had them in the. How do you type country?
Yeah.
Try cleaning them. Oh, baby.
No, you don't clean troughs.
No.
You just always leave the water running.
The
water was always counting.
They have one of those air fresh, those little deodorant things. That
the cakes? You talking about the cakes?
Little cakes?
Yeah, they activate when you piss on them.
Try cleaning them. What type of life have you lived? You had to clean a trough? You better than that. Don't you ever let somebody put you down.
You quit that job immediately.
You better than that.
You can come clean my house. You ain't got to clean the troughs, bro. That's over and done with. Them days is done, okay?
I don't even want to think about it.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome. Exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all got to have tampons. We piss in troughs.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know, that is bad. I've heard a lot of women talk about how they had to clean women's restrooms, and the worst thing is just the
box.
The box. Well, even if it's in the box, my nigga, like
yeah, but I'm saying like that, that little box in the stall type thing. I used to work at Goodies. When my mom worked there, she got me a job. This is like when I first got out of high school, right?
Right.
So I'm working at Goodies. I was the maintenance man, and like we talked about earlier, a maintenance man is a glorified janitor.
Yes.
So I was the maintenance man. So I had to clean the women's bathroom and those little boxes inside the stall where they put that shit. I call it ew season.
Ew season.
It's the season of ew.
Pate le door.
Right. You going through what? Ew. But I used to have to clean those shits, and man, when I tell you, it is the most trifling shit I've ever. Look, I've stood in the midst of a ratchet ass fight in the middle of a club, and one of the people fighting was eating chicken. But the most ratchet shit I've ever seen came from cleaning those little boxes inside the stall, bro. Like those, like cleaning that out. You clean them after games. You've lived a life.
Go ahead.
All right, but cleaning those little like sanitary boxes is one of the most repulsive things, and like it's to the point now to where, because that affected me. Like women that I deal with now, when they're on their monthly, I don't touch them. I don't do none of that. Oh, I'm on my period. Let's get in the shower and all that. No, I'm not doing shit. You're unclean right now. Like I've seen the aftermath, and like they get mad at me like this is a part of nature, not my nature. The fuck you talking about? Like what you mean?
Right.
No, it just throws me off. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, libertarians.
That's enough about stall pissing. So,
we got the women speaking on here.
Yeah,
women's bathrooms are so nasty because they don't want to dispose of their sanitary things the right way. You are damn right.
Yeah.
I had to dispose of them. I'll take a men's room over a women's room any day. And let that be a lesson to all of you women out here thinking that we just dogs. We're clean dogs. All right?
Yeah.
Shit.
We're efficient.
We're
We're accurate.
Yes,
the aim is accurate.
Some.
Yeah, that
Some.
is.
You ever get distracted while you was pissing and then everything goes like something happened, you look this way and then all the piss follows you like, oh shit.
I never miss unless it's like the after sex.
I knew you were gonna win it forks.
Yeah, so or just the random women. If y'all don't know about this, it's a real thing. Okay, this stuff is what is it? The buildup of is it semen that builds up? I don't know.
No, it's the semen left over after you ejaculate.
So if you wait and you don't go ahead and go piss and stuff, you can go piss afterwards. Let's say you get up in the morning, and that shit will that way or that. Oh, that shit is fucking
the
terrible.
leftover semen in the head of the penis gets dry, and it gets so dry to where the piss is not
There's a divider.
The velocity of the urine is not strong enough to break through the solidification of the semen
until the heat of it eventually.
Yes, exactly. Like if you run hot water over a skillet that you just use to scramble some eggs.
Wait, I got this.
Right,
Have you ever had to commute to Nashville to work in the morning and constructions puts those orange cones to split traffic this way and that way? Those orange cones are the semen that's splitting the piss this way and that way.
And it just starts forking off. But the worst part is when it happens, all of a sudden now you got to adjust the aim of your dick to try to
aim in two pistols. You know?
You're like, oh, God.
Yeah. So that's that.
You aiming two pistols.
It is. You're like pew, 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 pew.
And now the shower curtains are ruined.
Yeah. It's a mess. So
shower curtains are bad. And then if you have one of those toilet seat covers, the furry ones, you know,
oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
That.
You can damage a whole toilet seat. You can fuck that all up.
True story. My mom had one of those, right?
Yeah.
And I sat down on the toilet and I felt something around my back, so I figured it was just the fuzziness of it. So I went back. Then I felt it again. I was like, what the fuck? So I stood up and I let the toilet seat down. What about a mouse was crawling on that? And it was the tail. It was the tail of a mouse, bruh.
Yes. Rubbing on you.
Yes. So the fuzzy toilet bowl things, do not buy those because any sort of animal or rodent could cling or hide or sleep on those.
Oh.
Yes.
Golly.
Shit.
Yes. My mom lives in the country. She ain't got no messy house or nothing, but you know what I mean? It's just something that happens.
It's the native animals.
Yes.
What did you do when you saw it? You freak out?
Sort of, because I was half asleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was half asleep and
it was a tail rubbing.
It was a tail on my tail. And then it was a mouse tail on my tail.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not what's up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, we've gotten far. So let me ask you this, Josh. 6 months from now, where's the current state of the country? Where do you think we're gonna be?
I think that depending on how this continues with the coronavirus, and I do think that this is going to play a big part, is going to be how Biden's team, if they choose to go dirty, which most politicians will go dirty.
Yeah. They're going dirty. The only one that wouldn't is Bernie Sanders, who you all let just drop out.
I think even in this case, because depending on what the total is, if it ends up being 150, 160, or even if there's a second outbreak and it ends up going even further than that, whoever's running against Trump will point out, it's like, by you not taking this seriously in the first 3 or 4 months, you allowed this to
get out of hand.
Yeah. And then when we were trying to put sanctions, put things into place to try to control it, you decided to open everything back up, I mean, this will be that argument.
It's about to get ugly as hell.
I don't know.
He gave the whole country $1,000.
$1,200.
Yeah.
And
So I got a question.
And I thank you for that.
But I got a question for you.
We got some beats.
Yeah.
So
$1,200.
we're rocking the beats now. Wait.
I didn't get a stimulus check. I just want to put that out there, like clarification. I'm unbiased on this matter.
I did get
not
a stimulus check.
So he's biased in this
Thank
matter.
you
That's
for that.
that's the definition of bias. If you guys are not familiar, I did not. So that's why I have so many questions.
Right.
This man already decided. I'm voting for the nigga.
I did not decide. No. My vote can't be bought for $1,200.
I'm playing. I'm about to have. He about to
It's
get hate
secret.
mail.
Look, though. I can be
He about to
ratchet.
get hate mail in this DM.
Look, I can be ratchet in that booth. I can be like, he did give me that $1,200, but ain't nobody gonna find out. I'm gonna vote for this nigga. You know what I mean? Like,
Ain't nobody
I got
gonna-
full privacy. Don't nobody know shit what's going on in that booth.
But
So-
in some cases, $1,200, even if you had like three kids or something like that, to get the, was it 500 for each?
Yeah.
And you lost your job,
Ooh, that's 1,500 on top of 12.
but say you have a job that pays you roughly $60,000 to $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1,200 is not even enough to get started
Right.
for your rent.
It's open.
This nigga.
For your rent, for your bills and stuff like that. It's not even a place to get started. So if you're trying to put in a situation of saying it's buying a vote, it's really not. I mean, it's going to create a circumstance where some people are going to be a little more bitter because it's like, great, thank you for tempting, but that's still not going to put food on the table, or pay my electric bill, or pay my this and that.
Right.
But I mean, the fact that he did it though, like, because if you're looking at it from an objective outside standpoint, and let me know if you agree with this. With Trump, he's upgraded the unemployment for people. Like, they're getting $800 a week.
They're trying to back out from that.
Right, but I'm saying that's happened. People it's already in some people's bank accounts. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
See,
It is.
he's
somebody's
very
bank
biased.
account.
People, full disclosure. Paco is biased right now.
I'm not biased.
Yes, he is. Look at this smile.
Facts
Look
are
at this
facts.
smile.
Facts are facts. Okay.
But
If it's there, it's there. Okay. Thank you. It took him 7 weeks.
yeah,
It took him 7 weeks.
but
But it's
Here's-
there.
It's there.
But here's the other questions that's coming up, though. The states are fixing to be, a lot of the states are fixing to be on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah.
Which means,
What?
oh, states are losing, like, some states are on the verge of red.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, bro. When they
How do you
pay,
save a state? How do you save a state? Because they wrote off Michigan. You remember when they did that?
yeah, that
They
was,
ain't saved Michigan at all.
yeah.
But the whole idea is there's got to be a level of federal aid for the states to help bail them out and not corporations. Because when the state starts laying off, that means basic needs are cut.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Is Tennessee one of those states that's on the verge?
Is it one of the 50?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
yeah.
Ooh, folks.
Yeah.
Folks, I wish we had more viewers right now. Y'all need to share this.
All right.
I did not know that states were about to go, a whole state was about to go bankrupt.
New York and California, their economies have been shut down. No tax income, no tax revenue for the most part.
Wow.
These things, they shut them down because coronavirus has run rampant in major cities.
Yeah.
What happens when your number 1 and 2 like tax paying states aren't sending money?
Taxes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you start saying, well, let the states go bankrupt. It's like, okay.
But that's the country, though. That's like if a state
Yeah.
goes bankrupt.
You can't allow it to become political. You have to start sending aid to 50 states, all 50 states. And you can't.
Where's the aid coming from, though? Like, with what? If
There's
they're not
gotta be-
sending taxes, then what money are we aiding with?
Well, you see, that's the kicker. The $3 trillion that they have for our stimulus checks, that money's not there.
Right.
You start printing money in the hopes that it works, and with the fear that it doesn't create deflation or inflation.
Right.
'Cause
Wait. So they sent all that money out hoping that it wouldn't do either?
the whole idea is for it to stimulate, as the name is,
Yeah.
the
Stimulus.
economy.
Yeah.
where it will take care of itself.
Hold on, our co-host is calling right now. Wait a minute, real quick. Devin, we're in the middle of a show that you're supposed to be on. What's up, bud?
First of all, I'm on my way to work, so like I don't want to hear anything about me. Reasonable reason for me to not be on the show today.
Wait a minute, let me put you next to the mic so we can all hear this. What's your reason?
I'm going to work. I'm getting my money out. I'm getting my double time. What you mean?
There this guy.
All right, well, let me call you after the show. All right.
I don't. Wait a minute. Look, the new phrase for Devin is my grandmother told him he got that little ass mouth. He got a little mouth. So this little mouth nigga done called in, can't show up on the show. I don't show him to find a camera. Where's the camera? Use his camera. Say hi, Devin.
Say hi, Devin.
There he is. There he is. You're doing a good job stimulating the economy by going to work and being essential and all that other shit.
He in the middle of it. He in a car ride. Well, all right. Let us call you back after the show, all right, bud?
All right. See ya. Oh, little mouth ass. Look, my mom said, Devin, he can't even eat all that with his little mouth. You see, you ever notice he got a little ass mouth? I said, I'm telling him on the show tomorrow.
That comes from weeks of just staring at somebody, just like,
you got a little
ass mouth.
But going back to that, as you were asking,
states going bankrupt. Yes.
Yeah.
It's never been to this level,
right,
where the states are in danger.
Yeah.
You're bailing out corporations, and you're bailing out like small businesses, big business. But when the state goes down, that creates issues,
a whole new level of shit.
Yes, because what ends up happening? Well, you close schools down.
Yes.
You close hospital. Well,
Medicaid, Medicare, stop approving shit.
So elderly homes.
Yeah.
A lot of elderly homes are state sponsored.
Right.
So I mean, the money has to be there. But yet, there has been argument between certain politicians, and it's been made quite clear, such as in some cases, which a certain senator I've told you that I'm not a big fan of from certain state that might be right north of us and might look like a
Mitch
Turk.
McConnell, you a bitch. What's up?
Well, he made the comments.
It did. You keep fucking with the motherfucker.
But he made the comments about the states going under.
Yeah.
And Governor Cuomo of New York made the argument, well, New York takes in a lot less than Kentucky does of state aid. They pay in more than Kentucky, and they take it out less. So what you end up having is, like, in that case, it's like, so the smaller states are going to be dependent on the bigger states to do what they do.
Right.
Because as it goes, there used to be the wonderful statistic that California, if it was a country, would have, I think, the 7th or 9th largest gross national product in the world.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think rent there is $6,000 a month.
Well, you got the other one.
Yeah.
New York would be the 12th.
Right. Correct.
Texas, I think, would be like the 16th or 17th. If these states go into number one, which is us. If these states get to the point where they can't function, that tears down the whole.
Right.
We got to make sure they work.
Yes.
And we got to make sure all of us work.
Those are the pillars that the foundation stands on.
Yes. But then it also gets to the important.
Shit.
Are you out? See?
Shit.
Hold on.
Shit.
Try it now.
Shit.
Give me a test.
Motherfucker, goddamn. There we go.
There
All
we
right.
go.
All right. We're
But-
back. Okay, cool.
But you need like them to do their jobs or to function. But at the same time, you have to be wary of what would happen if there's a outbreak that's worse than the one we have that could possibly. When does your personal freedom, as we mentioned earlier,
All right.
when do you basically allow the people to stay home and be safe and not fear of their state going under,
Right.
or force them to go and work and try to basically put money in the economy at the cost of their life?
Right.
See, that's and like all right. So with all that going on, has Biden or Trump addressed either of these matters in a serious going forward type of way?
Well, let me jump in there.
Yeah.
The things have been addressed, but everything feels like it has an agenda behind it. Like not like, I feel like it's been, addressed because it's almost time to vote. You know what I mean?
But here's the kicker, and this is the biggest one: you can't hold them equal for one reason. Biden has no power.
Exactly.
Trump's the president.
Exactly.
You can't blame Biden for bad policy in this circumstance.
Right.
Very true. Very true. I'm glad you said that for people listening.
Right.
That's very true. Okay. God damn. You voting for Biden? No.
He ain't even paid
See what
it.
I'm saying? He lost us with that comment. He lost us.
Yeah.
He lost
If
it.
you ain't black, all right, bet. Say word, nigga.
Yeah. Show you how ain't black we are.
Yeah,
Today.
exactly. All right.
But it also
Win without us, you bad.
right. You so bad.
You so bad.
But there is, going back to the whole stimulus as we were talking, there is the possibility of another wave of stimulus that
Yeah, it's trying to get passed right now, right?
they're trying to get passed, and the question mark for that is what is going to be in the stimulus. Do they issue more money to the people, which some people believe that should be a given.
Right.
All right.
But this time, there's the big argument: do you start giving the states money? It's like, I think it's time to start aiding the states.
Right.
But then again, you also have the fact that the right is also trying to take away accountability from businesses.
Sorry, y'all.
Such as if you get coronavirus or your loved one dies while working, that's not on the business.
Right.
Yeah, it is. You got me working.
Well, that's what,
All right, so what move would lead us closer to anarchy? If we gave states money or if we didn't?
well, at current pace, if the states go bankrupt, that creates
Anarchy.
That will create.
Man, fuck it. Don't get a state shit.
But
I'm with that move. Like, I like anarchy. Like, Josh, the only thing that's going to fix it is if we burn it down and build again. That's my.
But the
that's
thing
my
is,
belief.
hold on though, you contradict yourself there because anarchy is not about building it again.
no,
It's about burning it down and having just free reign for whatever you want to do.
But that's unrealistic though.
I mean that's why it sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah,
to
but it's
promote
unrealistic.
anarchy.
Like, but no, you can burn it down. That's anarchy.
Yeah.
But the fact of believing or thinking that it will never be built again goes against everything that history has taught us.
Oh, I know.
I will.
Like, so
I will make.
I
This
know it's gonna be built again, but I just think it should be burned down first.
The question is, who's going to build it?
Yeah.
I don't really care at that point. I'm moving to Africa, Josh.
There are a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah.
I hope one of them gets in charge.
Bubba Ray from Montana that thinks the government's out to get him to begin with, that believes he's been anally probed by aliens
Right.
12 times, but actually has an arsenal that makes South Dakota's National Guard seem under-equipped. Person like that doesn't really need to get power.
Right.
I'm interested in his ideas.
I mean,
I want to see what he's got to say, because I like at this point, if you're a career politician, I have nothing for you, like, and that even goes for Bernie Sanders. Like even with Bernie Sanders, and I can say this now because he's just all the way out the race. His ideas, I think, in a very, very, very long term view. I was one of those people that, like, when they showed me 1984 in school, I was like, all right, yeah, no, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there are policies and these career politicians do things for the right now so they can keep their right now, that all it takes is 2 terms more. So 8 years down the road, another person can be elected to use these things that you got passed right now to fuck us. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe just burn it all down. You ever seen The Dark Knight? You know the
Yes.
Joker? He just wants to watch the world burn.
But
Pretty much that.
I will make this argument against that, though.
Why?
You want the Joker, right?
Yes.
You'll get Bane.
yeah, you'll end up with Bang.
I'm cool with that.
No, you think
I'm moving to Africa. I'm so cool with that.
But you know what though? Like without our structure and stuff, I mean that whole thing could float to Africa. You be over in Africa instead
Then
of
Bang pop up.
instead of running through the suburbs, you running through the jungle.
Here's
Damn.
here's another thought.
You think
For the
about
past few years, our military has spent $500 to $700 billion. If it all falls down, that might fall into somebody's hands. Somebody who has the desire for conquest.
I'm so interested in seeing that happen.
But here's the thing, though. You think a motherfucker that conquers the West can't come over there and conquer Kenya or something? You know what I mean?
It's just gonna take them a long time. To
No,
get there,
it will not.
Yes, it will.
Hell no.
If the
you
time
can
it takes to conquer the
West,
West, I'm sure from my ass being Africa, I'll be able to see him like,
It took 100
time
years.
to move to India.
It took 100 years for Europe to conquer Africa, for every African nation, for the most part, to be tied to a European country.
That's 100 years for me to dip.
But we're talking about today.
50. All right. I
got
can still
better-
move.
This was got drones and shit. Your black ass out there smoking a blunt and on the back porch of your hut barbecuing some warthog and shit.
Wearing Egyptian cotton.
They wearing Egyptian cotton and they gonna they gonna fly a drone right up your ass.
I feel like it should all be burnt down.
I understand, but
I just don't get
I-
like this.
thank you for joining us, Pat Jackson.
This continuous, just going through the monotony of it all, and we're not seeing anything change for the little guy. Like the 99% are continuously being fucked. When was Occupy Wall Street? What year was that? What year was Occupy Wall Street? Was Obama in office?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he came right after Bush, and Occupy Wall
that?
Street wasn't. Occupy Wall Street wasn't while Bush was in office. So 08 some and upward. All right. So let's say 09, 010, right? So
010.
010, right.
010.
Yeah. But
Back in 010.
but like let's say that Occupy Wall Street talked about how the 99% got fucked over and how politicians and businessmen were colluding behind scenes to fuck us over as the small guy in the nation, right? This came out and there was much evidence, much proof that go along with that corroborated everybody's feelings, right? Okay, so here we are in 2020. The 99%, the middle class is damn near gone. The little man's still getting fucked over, and we're just going through the same step-by-step treatment of vote for this guy, and then we're going to give him 2 terms, and we're going to give the other party a chance, and we're going to give him 2 terms, we're going to give the other party a chance. It's like, no, fuck that. We're still being fucked over regardless of who's in charge. So let's just figure out that the Monopoly board is not just a game, that there's really a Park Avenue, and go fuck them up.
Here's the thing. Let me say this. We are. You have to understand. A lot of people don't even realize it. Even though us as a country, we're doing a lot better than a lot of third world countries, or we think we are, whatever. We are the world's cattle, and what I mean by that, we are consumer cattle. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what I mean by consumer cattle is, if you turn around, you ain't got no tag on this shirt.
I rip them all out.
Oh fuck! Yeah. Well, it probably says made in China on it.
I mean, it probably was made in China, but I just don't like to rep it.
Right. So,
look, to the bone with this
even
shit,
though
man.
we might be paying, look though, even though we might be paying them people pennies here and these people quarters here and these people this there, we are the consumer cattle. Our money goes. We're buying those products. We are feeding the world. That's why we're the most overweight. You know what I mean? We are the cattle of the world. We got to fatten them niggas up because they gonna spend all their money on this over here, on this over there. So you got to keep that in mind, too. We're cattle here.
George Carlin once explained it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
The
Great
reason
comedian.
why the wealthy do not get rid of the poor is to make sure the middle class sees that there's a worse situation.
That's it.
And what you end up doing is you create economic slavery.
Jones effect. Go ahead.
Economic slavery. Everybody goes and does what they're supposed to do if they want that level of comfort.
Their little piece of happiness.
Yeah.
Right.
What is that you said? What's the problem with the revolution?
The problem with the revolution is where's the food come from afterwards? And that's not just that. It's everything else. If you tore it down to rebuild it, right? Cell phones are gone. The power grid possibly could be down until however long it takes to get it back up.
Right. You have to move near a major dam or some wind powered areas.
Or
But go
just
ahead.
nothing.
Just that. The federal government realizes they're out. What stops them from blowing a dam?
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, I
I like all of that.
You know, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna go to the breaker box. I'm gonna cut that bitch off in the middle of the summer, and I'm gonna padlock it. I'm gonna leave for a week.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back. You know, Iris gonna be killed and ate your ass by then. And she gonna have Adonis running on a pinwheel to power that in the heat of the night. She watching.
Well, there's the other thing too. Plumbing. Something as comfortable as plumbing.
Yeah.
If it's not working.
Yeah.
Once again, the benefits of being a guy. The benefits of being a guy means I don't need plumbing. I've only been pissing inside the house for the comfort of the rest of society.
It's
all fun and games till a rattlesnake bites you in the ass when you go outside.
Oh, the bottom of your balls. Oh.
I don't know where y'all like to hang out at. I've never had the fear of a rattlesnake.
Right.
There's never been a moment in life where I was like, hope a snake don't get me.
Every time I'm at any river or creek, I'm like, God, snakes.
Oh yeah,
where they love to. Oh yes, you were out there kayaking. I guarantee you.
I ain't get out the kayak.
Well, that don't mean they can't get in the kayak.
A cottonmouth is a very curious little snake.
Right.
I don't know about them motherfuckers.
So,
I'm moving to Africa.
Gosh, what was I gonna say? I done lost it now. I had a good question for you, and I lost it.
Well, we need to.
Where we at? Where we at on time? Let me see here. Where we at on time? We got about 15 minutes. Josh, so when I asked you about 6 months from now, where are we?
Yes.
What do you think we're gonna be? What do you think's gonna be going on? Let's take as far as the economy and COVID. Are we opening up fully? Are we gonna be back to?
Well, in that period of time, 6 months. If we evaluate it
6
historically,
months. It'll bring us to November election month.
Yep. Historically, if it follows a path like the Spanish flu, we'll kick back in September, November, shut everything back down in less than a
shut
month.
down around Christmas. Oh, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
Lock
goes that
your
route.
car doors. I know about this. I'm from Detroit.
But that's
Shut
to
down
me. That's the
around
worst case
election
scenario. Best case scenario: the world's coming together to make a vaccine. They get something together. They possibly could be pumping it out by November, December, if they found something.
Are you gonna take the vaccine?
I'm in the risk factor. I'm a big fat bastard, so
Josh, I love you, man.
I mean, so for
I did not think you was gonna say that shit. God damn.
I'm in the risk category that they keep on saying. Just
Oh fuck, John. God damn.
so for self-preservation, it's like yes.
His pause though. He paused it. I'm a big fat bastard, man. Look, don't ask me.
Right.
If it's a pill, I might put it on a donut and help it go down. I mean, it's just well, but
yeah, you got to go. Turn off the camera.
But there's the other part too, though.
Yeah.
There's talk about mail by election, election by mail.
You're all right, voting. Through
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. So if there's a pandemic, we might be forced to.
Oh, yeah.
I do believe it's probably in the same boat as anything else.
Right.
You just put a nice, real heavy penalty if you catch somebody screwing with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we're not going to kill you, we're not going to put you to death, but we are going to castrate you with a butter knife.
Right. Right.
So
Shit.
So
I don't know how many of y'all got good imagination, but I pictured that immediately.
Right. I pictured dry toast trying to spread cold butter on dry toast.
this will be your penalty if you mess with vote by mail.
Right. Right.
But there's the possibility of that. I would hope that something like that happens if we don't have a vaccine.
You really see? I mean, what about just spraying down the fucking panels after every time somebody goes in there?
Because you pay somebody $8.50 or $9 an hour, treat them like shit, and they get to the whole point. I hope you die.
Yeah.
Well, here's the whole thing, which I think will come out of this. Yeah. This will be the longer term, in my opinion. I do believe that there will be a push for a minimum wage hike.
Yeah.
About time though. It's still at $7.50.
I don't believe in the minimum wage hike.
Why not? Whoa. Excuse me, hold on real quick. Why not?
Let me tell you why.
What do you mean?
You know why? Because every time we've hiked minimum wage up, they have hiked the price of things up. Because the profit margin...
That comes with the territory.
But what's the point? Let me get there. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
So, okay. This product here is $5. Let's say it's $5.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Minimum wage goes up. Oh, I make more money. Oh, yeah, I got more money. But the price of this product now is $10 because it costs more to manufacture it because CEOs and companies aren't going to let that profit margin slip.
Right.
So what have you really done? It's just like, now you see it, now you don't shit. You know what I'm saying?
But there's there's another side to this too, just in theory for whatever. Even if you raise it up and then still take the ability for people to, you're getting closer to pitchforks.
You're right.
And what really holds, I believe, corporations in check, don't get me wrong, our comfort level's high, but if they start screwing with it, even with the raise and minimum wage,
Right.
pitchforks and torches are coming.
Right.
And Americans can be very creative in the most screwed up kind of ways.
Right.
And here's the scary part.
Oh, we know.
Which we've talked about, like revolution and stuff like that.
Yes.
The worst case scenario is you end up like France and end up having like 9 revolutions in like a 5-10 year period.
Right.
Where every time something happens,
Brandon is pro revolution. Continue.
But and that would create. It'll get to the point where people won't care about the comforts.
Right.
And you'll create an entire generation that's almost like resetting the mold, going back to the original way things are.
And the cycle is just to keep resetting the mold, and nothing ever grows. The plant never grows. It just keeps getting ripped up, and replanted.
The whole, in theory, I've always believed that it's the responsible for the current generation to make it easier for the next generation. When you create a revolution thing, you sort of destroy that comfort, and thus the next generation ends up starting from square one and make it comfort, and you just end up, it's a circle.
But how much do we sacrifice in light of comfort, though?
Well, that's the big question. It's like
that's the decision making part, as we the people do when we start fighting or when we don't.
Here's the biggest part about revolution. Does it continue to be a democracy, or is it turned into something else?
Yeah, I say turn into something else.
What do you want? You want tyranny? What do you want?
No, I myself personally like a system that's based on following the laws of God. So.
That's your God.
Yeah.
You know,
but my God is mostly the God that everybody else is praying to. So
maybe.
I'm saying, like, if you're a Christian, a Catholic, or Islam or Judaism, we are praying to the same God. If you're Buddhist or Hindu or something like that, I'm sorry, you're shit out of luck. But that's just the way the world works sometimes. But I just like that. Like, let's just go off of what did God say? All right.
But then you're in danger if you create a theocracy.
Why not? I mean, why?
Because you might be even killed. The next guy might be a fanatic. And what you end up having is, say you believe in the Christian God. Well, the next guy is following it up in the Christian model, right? He decides the Jews and the Muslims are wrong.
Or he decides you have 2 children out of wedlock. You have not followed the ways of God yourself and kill you.
Well, hey.
Just saying.
It's just the way it goes.
So,
I think it's still better than democracy. Like, I rather know transparency than to know I'm being lied to and not know how. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like you ever been in a bad relationship and you know that the person that you're fucking with is not even keel with you, but you can't spot it on them. You know what I mean? Like you can't find the evidence in the phone. You can't. It's just something that you just like.
You just know
you
got
are
that gut
fucking
feeling.
me over. I know you are, but you can't prove it, so you're still stuck in that limbo.
Yes.
That's what I feel like we are with the American government right now.
Right.
So I'd rather just know, all right, you're a fucked up person. It's my choice to decide I see the better in you or to just go on about my day.
Right.
But right now I just feel like it's a constant of, I feel like you're going to fuck me over. But I can't really prove it right now, so I'm just going to have some more hope.
Right.
I'm tired of hope. We've been depending on hope since 1960. Goddamn, give me some concrete.
Yeah.
I need a fact. Can we depend on facts?
Well, technically, we've been depending on hope since 1776.
Yeah.
My people have been depending on hope since 1619. I'm tired of hope.
He said, I'm tired of hope.
Well, the whole issue, like I believe with this system, and my argument for this to work, is that you hope that the next day is better than this day. Sure, you can have some lemons at president, and it might take you like 6 or 7, 8, 9 in a row, right? Then one day you get that one that takes you to the promised land of getting to where you think or where you have to believe we're going.
It's just a leap in progress altogether. It's like going from Windows ME.
The old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
Yes.
And the whole thing is, it's a supporting cast too. It really depends on the House, the Senate. I mean,
You have to have faith
Councilman-
in the system.
because that's the whole idea. I mean, it's if you have if the system works 75% or even 50% of the time, right? It's still better than a system that just
Doesn't work
feeds
at
into
all.
one person.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, in North Korea, in this case, right, they would love, some of those people would love to have our fucked up system.
Oh yeah, they'd slaughter 100,000 of us to get where we are.
Really?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day,
What's that called when you see when you see somebody else's plate and you think it's better than yours? Like the grass ain't green on the other side type
Right.
thing. There's a word for that. What's
Right.
I don't know what that
I call it
word
the
is.
Jones effect, but
Yeah.
that's me.
But
Or-
I think that keeping with the Jones. I think that's what it is. Like because we have put out the image of perfection when it comes to governmental a country that is set up to run for the people, by the people, of the people, that other people.
Or have we just been blinded to think that the world sees us as perfection, but the world really doesn't?
Yeah,
well,
very true. I think that's more.
It is.
yes, because what it comes down to is American mythology versus American exceptionalism. And
We're
like,
not that exceptional.
in some ways we are.
How?
Well, theoretically, we were the first to really push for public schools in the sense of how it exists today. We do not test our students to the point where it will determine where they go to the next part. Joe Schmo, the C student, still can go to college if he wants to. Where versus in some places he tests out and he ends up a VOTech path. Or in that case.
Now, are those countries more successful than we are, though?
It depends we have the number one economy in the world.
Do we?
Yeah.
We do?
We are how do we waste $700 billion on the military?
We got the money to do it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now we may not test high, like I think like India tests higher in IT and stuff like that.
Oh, everybody tests higher than us, but we give the access.
Right.
Because what's all said and done, a doctor in Nigeria or a doctor in India wants to come to the United States.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. I don't know how much time you spend at the doctor's or hospital, but
Not that much.
Dr. Muhammad is at a lot of hospitals. You know?
Damn.
Our biggest issue, though, which it's a whole different thing, is the healthcare and how we could fix that. That's a different issue. But it's the fact that we are, in a sense, still a land of opportunity, even though we have a lot of ass-backwards people
Right.
on all sides.
A lot of ass backward agendas.
Yeah.
So,
Like a motherfucker.
right.
But here's the thing. We have 50 countries, theoretically, that you can move to if you don't like the one you're in.
yeah.
49 others. Because the United States, what a state is more or less in the idea of a European Union or something like that. Almost like a country idea. If you hate living in Mississippi, there's nothing to stop you from moving to Massachusetts.
Right.
If you don't like Massachusetts, there's nothing to stop you to move to Texas.
Right.
I mean, it's
If you don't like America, you can move to Africa.
well, or Canada or anywhere else. Well, actually, we're probably, I think I once read, we're the most undesirable immigrants in the world.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, I bet.
See what I'm saying? And that's true though. I've read that too. That's true though. Like that's
Well-
like other countries, and that started after 9/11 though.
Right.
Oh, it started way before.
Oh well, that's when I'm sorry.
No, I mean, there's a joke that you can look at when it's like if you meet somebody from Texas, he will tell you probably within the first 30 minutes of talking to him how great the state of Texas is.
Yeah.
If somebody from Ohio, you meet somebody, they'll tell you how great the state of Ohio is.
Right.
And then you start asking yourself, why are you here?
Yeah.
Right.
Ohio is so good.
What are you doing here then?
The GM sent me.
But it goes backwards. Somebody from Tennessee's in New York or whatever. It's just like you have fast-paced life. Don't want no part of this. Like interstates don't work one way.
Right.
But it goes back though. That's the fact. That's what an American is, though. We like to brag about what we had versus what we have.
Very true. Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh, he just dropped some big facts. Bim, 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 bim.
I don't know. Wait. I think I can turn it up. Let's see. Hit it, Bubba. Hit it on there.
I got to log in.
You got to log in? Oh, we
can
slipping.
throw it all the way off.
All the way.
All right.
Yeah, cancel that, yeah. Hit the button. It's right there. There you go. There we go.
There we go.
That's all.
But we'll go back to this, though. I do believe I would not choose any other place to be, though.
Now, that varies for you and Brandon. Brandon, Caucasian male in
Yes.
America, African-American male in America. It's different.
Yes.
You know?
So many other places I would choose. So many others. I've done the research. I can list off 6 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Well, I've looked, like I said, I've looked at it is a difference in background. And it is the fact, like, I mean, I often think about where my family comes from, which is.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Alarm.
Okay.
Usually goes to work. But, like, my ancestors, I know exactly where they come from. England and what's that? I've thought about it. It's like, what would it be like to go back to there? And I thought, I was like, oh my God, I can see it now. It's like, first of all, they know I'm American because, once again, it goes back to the fat ass part. We stand out really bad. Accent, just my ideas.
Right.
Yes.
And, I mean, so I thought it goes back here. I mean, I do believe that there can be a difference at some point.
Right.
Of course, certain people, we have to move forward, and certain people have to be addressed, and we can't keep putting people that think they're in the 50s in positions where they're forefront.
You know, it just it's old. It's played out. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Like, why are we doing this? What is
Cycle.
getting? It doesn't make sense to like
What?
that cycle.
Cycle.
Like you said, break the cycle.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. That I need something that makes some sense. It doesn't make sense to vote for Trump. It doesn't make sense to vote for Biden.
No.
I just don't. I don't get it.
Do you want a shit sandwich or a shit pie?
Yeah.
I don't want no
that's-
shit at all.
Right.
Well, that's the issue. But it also comes to the
Golly.
fact, as a people, we have to start being more informed and stop accepting certain things. We need intellectual, like, news. Stuff like, we really got to stop giving a shit what celebrity has 5 kids. Who's on their fifth
Or
kid.
how a celebrity feels about a political issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Like we talked about last episode.
here's Trinidad James on CNN, which he has been
on CNN.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like why?
Why is this celebrity that is a pure entertainer that is in charge of entertaining you, giving you real life commentary on some shit, and they're the only voice that you really got?
Right.
Like, that's the bullshit of it all.
Yeah.
There's no one else to speak up. Like, we was talking about how Biden said he has all the black leadership behind him. And I said, we don't even know who the fuck those guys
who's
are.
the
What do you-
black leadership?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
You start looking at people, like, going into other communities.
You
So
can
just-
move, if you need to move
Oh,
this, you
okay.
can move it. Yeah, you're fine.
like, really, people like LeBron James and stuff who put money into their community and push for schools and stuff. Those need to be heard versus a person, well, this is their new perfume, or this is their,
Yes.
or, well, they're dating so-and-so and this is their second
Right.
kid. It's like, no, the people, doesn't matter who they are. If they're celebrity or whatever, if they're trying to make a change for the positive and they're actually doing things versus just talking.
Right.
Those should be the forefront leaders of this is who we talk to.
Actively involved in the community.
Active. That's why we're gonna start our own political party and we're gonna run for councilman.
Well, it goes back to Leonardo DiCaprio. Everybody's like talked about, you know, his environmental stuff. Mm-hmm. The guy basically runs an environmental like agency of his own that deals with that. So it's like, yeah, you want to talk to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or in the case of like religious leader, Pope Francis, big on like global, you know, environmental. But that's his stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's actually an expert on that.
Right.
And
maybe instead of electing presidents, we should elect like councils. You know what I mean? Like a council of like 4 or 5.
you start talking like that, and then people start thinking New World Order and.
Well, no. Like let's say we have, instead of just like we have a 5-person council, and they hold the office. You know, maybe in that 5-person council we have an environmentalist. We have, and don't label like the roles of what you need in your council, because the needs of the country change every so many years. Right. So like, let's say, let's say this council's called Alpha 1. Okay. Yeah. Alpha 1 is running for the political position in America. And, I like Alpha 1 because they've got an environmentalist. They've got a doctor that's pro this and that.
An
they've
economist.
They got all kind of shit in
a
this.
Nutritionalist or something.
Yeah, 5-member council. And they're going to address all the issues and present it to Congress.
I would love for idea for a more or less almost like a Library of Alexandria kind of thing. Ooh. Where the world comes together, designates an area, and all the top minds, not who they think is the top minds, but peer selected top minds come together to work for the betterment of humanity, and you can go to them and get expert advice because the world has agreed here's where you go. Right. And you take away political agendas and stuff like that, because that's what these are. It's a council of intellectuals, right, that you can pull from.
You have to have so many countries on the same page, because something like that can get way out of hand. There just be nothing but white people on the council, and that gets dangerous.
Well, that's the big thing, though. Like when it comes to surgery, surgeons, stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of
India. Yeah.
And when you
but that's why I'm saying you need a lot of people. Wait, isn't there one like the Council of Foreign Affairs or something like that? Isn't that like a?
I mean, you really want to get into? We got the United Nations all together.
Them niggas don't do shit, like, bro. Like, God damn. Look, we have a whole global pandemic. When's the last time you heard UN in the news? These motherfuckers went quiet as hell, didn't they? They were like, everybody's gonna die.
Well, it goes back to, I think in that case it's the WHO, the World Health Organization. Actually, that's where they step up. Yeah. Who, might I add, we cut funding to because
we ain't give a fuck about them.
Well,
we were like, well, what's the worst that could happen? 100,000 people could die. Nuh-uh. You lying. 6 months later.
Right.
Holy shit.
Obama, the video they got Obama going around talking about 5, this could be as much as 5 years. You know what I mean?
5 years.
5 years, guys. 5 years.
The funny part is actually Mitch
5 years later.
Mitch McConnell sort of had to apologize to Obama because he was talking about how there wasn't a playbook.
Yeah.
Well, they found out, it's like, oh, wait. The Obama administration did make a playbook. We found it right here.
Yes. It was in the bathroom behind the Playboy. In the West Wing. So it was behind the King magazine. They must have been reading King magazine and stuck it behind there. And it's between King magazine and Playboy. So.
But it also comes down to just food for thought. Mm-hmm. We set a precedent. We ended actually a precedent this year.
Yeah.
Which is previously that the new administration always unveiled the portrait of the previous president.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we shot that to hell because Baby Huey decided, like, I don't like him, so we're not going to
unveil shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, we got to get past that.
Right.
Yes.
Guys, we have went over time. I've got to cut it loose. I gotta cut it loose. It's time for Tea Talks now.
Oh,
We gotta pass it to the Tea Talks girls.
all right. Damn, we got so much. Can you come back next week?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, cool.
Man, that'll be so cool.
We're gonna be talking economics next week.
Yes.
So
Economics
craziness.
on a real level.
Right.
Yes.
So, but yeah, Josh, thank you for coming out.
Man,
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
always.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find a link for Tea Talks real quick and drop it in here. If you're
Y'all go make sure you check out the Tea Talks girls. They talk about sexual health, relationship, love and understanding.
right,
And make sure that everybody go flood the comments for Tea Talks and tell Jasmine happy birthday. Tomorrow is her birthday.
yes,
So-
definitely do that.
That's my best friend, so I want to say happy birthday to you. I love you very much, and I'm officially the first person to tell you, so I win. But but y'all go flood the comments. Tell Jasmine happy birthday. Her birthday is tomorrow. Check out Tea Talks. It's great. Sit down with your spouse or your loved one or your partner or something like that. I guarantee there's a lot that you can learn. So y'all check that out. But back to the mothership. Come next week, we're gonna be talking about economics. We're gonna be talking about pulling your resources together as a group, whether it be on your street, whether it be your community, whether it be your city.
Yeah, whatever
Like,
it may
we're-
be.
Right. We're gonna be talking about a lot of economic growth and how to build wealth and pass wealth on.
Right.
That's one of the things that me and Paco been talking about over the past few weeks. We really want to get into that more. Bring in analysts, bring in accountants, financial planners,
Right.
historians that look at how the economy, when it comes to the stock market, has worked from the point of the Great Depression up to now. There's a lot going on, and we just want to update people and also just get some information out there. Let's all get rich out here. You know what I'm saying? Let's get rich. And if we can't, let's just go burn down the niggas that are rich and take they shit.
Eat
That's
the
just
rich.
mean. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Right.
One day there will be a day that comes when there's nothing left to eat but the rich. And then we will eat good. And we will be fat and we will be happy.
Right.
I think the term was Viva la Revolutionnaire.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Viva la revolution. Oui.
Yeah. So yeah, check us out next week. Go to the merchandise page.
I have
Go
nothing
get
left
you a
after that.
t-shirt. You know, go get you a hoodie or something. Hit me up. I got some Wu-Tang hoodies too, y'all.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang hoodies. Yeah. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
I went out and spent a lot of money on this suit because I thought Wu-Tang was going to win.
Yeah.
Because Wu-Tang is the best. Wu-Tang teaches the children.
That's true.
Wu-Tang is for the children. I'm ODB. I love y'all. Peace.
All right, and you know, like we always say, who that?
Who that? Ooh.